Hello everyone, my name is Akshita Kure and today's presentation topic is understanding the measure of the spread in the data analysis. First of all, introduction of the measure of the spread in the data analysis. Understanding the data distribution in a QCycle. The measure of this spread helps to quantify the data variability. Will be explore range, variance, standard deviation, and quartiles. In the data analysis, a measure of the shape tells us how much the variability or the dispersion exists in the data set. It gives insight into the how uh, spread out the data point around the center, mean, median, or mode, while the measure of the center tendency, like mean or median, summarizing the where the data point tends to measure of the spread helps as understanding how tightly or widely the data distributed. And the measure of the spread is also called as the measure of the dispersion. Tells you something about the wide the set of the data is the there is a several basic measures of the spread used in the statistics. The most commonly used are measure of the spreads are the range, static, standard deviation, and variance, and also quartiles. Next is why measure of the spread are used. First of all, context behind the average. The context behind the average spread is provided critical context behind just a mean. And next one is identify the variability. It is helps to identify the data variability and the pinpoint outliers. And the next is the informed decision. Enable better decision making across the industries. And it also used for the and the measure of the spread helps to understanding the how data point is different. This knowledge is vital in the finance, healthcare, marketing, etc. It is highlighted data variability and outliers. And it is also important that the measure of the spreads is first of all understanding the data distribution. Data distribution is tell us to the data points are closely packed or widely scattered. Next one is the compare the data sets. Helps to compare the variability between the different groups or data sets. Next one is the identify the outliers. Identify the outliers as the large spreads can be indicate the potential outliers. Next one is the risk assessment. The field of the risk assessment in the life finance or higher spread of indicates more risk. For example, volatility. Next is the types of the measure of the spread. First of all, first type is the measure of spread is a range. The range is the simplest measure. The definition of the range is the difference between the minimum and maximum value in the data sets. And also in the statistic, the range is a measure of the spread. It is different between the highest value in the data sets. To define the subtract the smallest number from the largest. And the formula for the range is equal to maximum data minus minimum data. And for example, the example of the range is the stock price. It's the one of the stock price is 10 and second one is 25. And the range is stock price is 15. It means the 10 minus 20, 25 minus 10 is equal to 15 and the range is the 15. His answer is a 15. It can find out the range is a 15. Key point of the range is that it is a quick to calculate but very sensitive to outliers. And the next type of the measure of spread is the variance. And the variance is the second type of the measure of the spread. Is the first of all definitions of the variance is the average of the square differences from the mean and the differences from the mean. And also variance measure to spread between the number in the data set. It is helps to the determine the how from the each number in the data set is from the mean or average from the very others number in the set. and it is also calculated by the tracking the average from the square difference from the mean, and the average of the square difference between the each data point and the mean. And also the average of the square between the each data point in the mean, and it is the formula of the variance is the variance is equal to summation of xi minus x bar divided by n, and where the n is for use for the population, and it is used in a statistical theory units square, making it hard in interpreted directly. And also examples of the variance is the data set. For example, dataset 2468 has and variance is found out in the variance is the answer is a 5. And the variance is provided the precise measures of the data distribution, and squaring difference prevent negative value from the cancelling out. However, this square can be amplified the effect of the outliers. And next type of the measure of spread is the standard deviation. First of all, standard deviation definition. The definitions of the standard deviation is the square root of the variance. And also the applications of the standard deviations are it is used in the confidence interval and the statistical significance, and is the interpretations are the return to the original unit for the easily understanding. And standard deviation is a measure of the amount of the variance in the data set of the value. And the low standard deviation close to zero indicates that value lead to be close to mean of the set, while highest standard deviation indicates that the values are the spread out over the widely range. For example, all the data points close to mean or are looked for the square for the above the mean score. And also the square root of the variance provided the measure of the spread in the original unit of the data. And it is to calculate the standard deviation is equal to formula is the standard deviations are the standard deviation is equal to square root of the variance. And the standard deviation is widely refers to the it is offers an interpretable measure of the typical distance from the mean. This makes it evaluable for various statistical analysis. Next is type of the measure of the shape is the quartiles. Quartiles divided data into the four parts. First of all, Q1, Q2, Q3, and interquartiles. First of all, Q1. Q1 is a 25 percentiles, and the Q1 is separated the lowest 25% of the data, and second is a Q2. Q2 is the 50% of the 50 percentiles. The mean value is separating the data in half, and third one is a Q3. Q3 is the 75 percentiles, separated the highest 25% of the data. Fourth one is the interquartiles range. Interquartile range is also stand for the IQ. They calculate as the Q3 and Q1, representing the middle 55% of the spread. And the quartiles divided into the four equal parts. The IQR is the robustic measure of the spread. It is the less affected by the outliers than the range. This makes it the ideal for the skewness of the distribution. And the quartiles are a value that divided your data into four quartiles. However, the quartiles aren't shaped like the pizza, pizza slice. Instead, their values are divided your data into the four segments according to the where is the number of the falls or your the number of the lines. And the four quartiles that divided the data set into the quartiles. Next one is the applications of measure of this spread. The first of all applications are the finance. The ensuring the investment risk through the stock uh, volatility. The next one is the healthcare, evaluating the treatment effectiveness by the patient outcome variability. The third one is the applications of measure of spread are the manufacturing. The manufacturing inside the ensuring the quality control and product damaging consistency. And next applications are the marketing, informing the customer signification by the purchasing behavior diversity. And the measure of this spread are the critical across the various industries. They providing the insight for the risk assessment in the finance. In the healthcare, they guide treatment evaluation. They ensure product consistency in the manufacturing and inform the marketing strategies. They offer the comprehensive understanding of the data variability.